how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Urbeck City Builder. Bit of a weird name. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it right off the bat. A bit of a weird name. Although, this game might just happen to be my latest obsession, and I'd kinda like to show you why. This is a city builder like no other that I have played in recent memory. Now, part of that is because I haven't played the city builder in a hot minute, because I'm kind of enjoying a break from that type of game, but this popped up on Steam recently, and then I went and checked my inbox and had a code for this game, so a huge thank you to the guys at Urbeck for sending that over my way. I do appreciate it. This isn't a sponsored video, but the key was provided for free, and it is important that you know that, because, you know, it might give me some inherent bias or whatever. Long story short, this is a breath of fresh air for me. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I play city builders quite a lot. I've been playing them a lot for almost 10 years, and sometimes it's nice to have something a bit refreshing, and that's what Urbeck is, because this game doesn't have an economy, at least not in the traditional sense. What you need to do in Urbeck is manage resources, and we can see in the top right of the screen, we have food, we have work, and we have wood. We also have the population and their general happiness, and the total amounts that we can have and do have, as well as the plus or negative. So if it's +5, we are generating +5 food. If it's -5, it's -5 food. If it's 0, that means that we are neither producing or consuming any food, any work, or any wood. Now, this game does have a tutorial. You can see it in the bottom right of the screen, and I am going to be following that. I've actually played through this tutorial a couple of times, but I'm going to be following it because this is one of those games that's a little bit different, and I want you to be able to follow along and kind of know what's going on and not be confused. So the tutorial is how I learned to play this. It's hopefully how you can learn to follow along and know what's going on. And I also have a hunch that this is going to be one of those games where, as we get a couple of episodes in, I'm probably going to get some tweets and some mentions on Discord that are like, hey, so I saw you playing Urbeck. I went and bought it, and I'm kind of addicted. I'm kind of hoping so. I think this is one of those games that you all might really enjoy. So, into the tutorial we go. We need to build 6 fields. I can drag and drop to build a grid to build a 3x2 box of fields. They cannot be more than 5 spaces from a road. They will produce food and require work. Now, what does that mean? Well, if we go to the bottom of the screen here, we have the Farms tab. If I go in there, I can get some field, and essentially what I want to do is place this by a road. Although it did say it can't be more than 5 spaces away from a road. So if you look here, you can see distance to road 5 squares. If I keep going away, eventually that's going to go red. That means it's too far away. We can also see that a field is going to consume 5 work, or 5 workers. It's going to produce 14 food, and it's going to cost 30 workers up front, or 30 work up front to build, and that's per tile. So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to build a 3x2 or a 2x3 little rectangle for some fields. And if you look in the top right, we have a +28 on food production, but a +5 in the red on work production. Now, the reason for that is because we are not generating any work. That's why we need to build 6 houses, as we can see down in the bottom right. They can't be any more than 3 squares from a road. So if we go to the Houses tab, I go to Housing. I can build them this far away at most, but just to make things easy, I'm going to build 6 of them across like this, and that is going to be our 6 houses. You'll notice in the top right, we have work now climbing, and as work climbs, we'll see these fields start to actually properly get built up. And this should essentially balance itself out, and we're going to see, you know, +16 or plus whatever on food, and plus however much on the work as well. I'm also going to speed the game up a little bit just to get this done that little bit faster. There we go. So we're +24 on food. We are +30 on work. Not bad. A nice, simple start. Now, in the bottom right, we can see to get information about a tile, you can right-click on it or use the magnifying glass. We want to get information from a house tile. So we'll go and right-click on this guy, and we can see this house is producing 10 work, and it is consuming 10 food. It has 6 residents, providing 6 happiness, and can be up to 3 squares from a road, and it can upgrade as well. It can upgrade to a village house when we have a population of 300 and 3 farmhouses. That's a whole thing that we'll get to. This entire game is about upgrading your different houses and buildings and making them more efficient and making people happier. It's also mostly about managing production lines and stuff like that, but there's a lot of making people happy, and it's actually kind of satisfying when it works out. So, we'll get to that. Now, we need to use a bulldozer to destroy something. Let's very quickly take out that tree, and we're back into production. Wood is required to continue building houses. Build a lumber camp in the forest adjacent to your settlement. The trees are replanted after they're cut down, but leaving too few adult trees can result in lumber camps being abandoned due to the shortage. So if we go into the industry tab, we have a lumber camp here. We can see the radius, and we can see that this is going to cover that entire little forest. So what I'm going to do actually is just extend the road by 1. And if I go to here, click the lumber camp, and if I hold Alt while I click this, it'll replace the tree with a lumber camp. And we can see in the top right, we are now plus 15 on wood. So now we are producing some lumber, which is good. That's what we need to be doing. The next goal is reaching 100 population, and that's quite simple. It's just a case of building houses and feeding the people. At the top right, we can see the current population and their happiness. It's currently 36 with a happiness of 6. So essentially, we need a surplus of food, and that'll keep everybody happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to build more fields. And I'm going to build just 4 more of them right there. And that will give us a bit more food. Obviously, the consumption here is 5, so we can only get 2 of these fields to actually work, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is quite simply expand the road this way a little bit. We'll go about 6 down to there, and we'll throw 6 more houses right along there. And we should see, and we absolutely do, still have a surplus of food, and we should still have a surplus of work. We absolutely do. Now, putting those guys in has doubled the population. It was 36, it's now 72. So what I can do to get us above 100 people is bring this down by another 6. I can go and say, give me another 6 houses. And now we have a problem because we don't have enough food. Now, food is something that's going to go into the negative, and we'll start running out if I don't do something about it. So the simple solution here is going to be this, and we should see the food situation kind of sort itself out a little bit, at least in theory. We'll speed the game up just to see what happens there. We do have 1 more house to go, and it's now done. So we have a population of 108. We have 1 field right there that needs to grow, but that's fine. We've actually done it. Now, by pressing Control, oh, I love this part. I love this part. This is one of my favorite features of Urbeck, and I think you're going to love this. You can press Control to get down into everything. This is kind of cool. Like, you can just walk up to people and be like, hey, how you doing? You know, or like, just look in the fields. It's kind of really cool. I get like Stonehearth vibes down here. I really, really like this. It feels like forever since the city builders let you get down in amongst all the people and look at that absolute stud of a poncho wearing voxel man. It's pretty cool. It really feels like forever since the city builders let you get right down in there, and I love that. I really, really do. Now, we need to click on the farm icon in the bottom menu. So if we do that, we'll see that we have the farmhouse, which is right here and is locked. We need to reach a population of 200 to unlock this thing. Now, what's good is that with this row of houses, we got to a population of 108. So in theory, I can double this, and I'm probably going to do that. So plain and simple, I'm going to bring this road back, and I'm going to bring it to here. I'm going to take it all the way up and all the way across. And what I want to do with this is I want to bring some houses down here and sort of around. I want to leave that space in the middle because eventually we can put parks in there and we can put services and stuff like that to make the area nicer. But that's the plan. All right, we're going to surround this area in houses. But before we do that, we probably want to deal with the fact that, you know, this lumber thing is right here. We could probably push that back into this forest, which honestly, I kind of want to do. So let's very quickly, we'll pause. Actually, we don't need to pause while I do this. We'll go ahead and we're going to punch this, this road straight through there. If I hold Alt, it gets rid of the lumber mill, and I can just build the lumber camp right here. And I think that'll be okay. Apparently that's no place to build it. There we go. We'll build it right there, and that should be a good spot for a lumber camp. I also think I've changed my camera. I did change my camera perspective. The game actually has two of them. One of them, this one here, makes me all... ugh. I don't like this isometric thing. I like this one, though. This feels more like what I'm used to. Now, we have this lumber camp here. I kind of want another one. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go and measure this road, and it's going to be 5. So from here, we want to go 5. And at the end of that road, I'm just going to place another lumber camp so that we have plus 30 on the wood production, which is good because certain things will cost certain amounts of wood to produce, and there's other things that will eventually consume wood on the regular. So having a nice little surplus early on is probably quite good for us. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to go and essentially double up on the fields, right? We have this, what is that, 3x5 thing going on. So if I go and do this, this, and this, that will double our food production. And then I should be able to safely go ahead and do all of this. And that should give us double the population, which is good. It'll be 216, which gives us the farmhouse. And we'll also have reason for a farmhouse because we have a nice big farm. So it kind of works out really well for us, in theory, once everything builds. Which, you know, shouldn't take too long, I would imagine. And there we go. We have unlocked the farmhouse, and now the game wants me to build 2 of them, which is totally fine by me. Now, farmhouses are kind of cool because these things cost 300 work up front, but they will produce 100 food, and they can store up to 200. So by building 2 of these guys, we're getting plus 400 on the total food storage and plus 200 in food production. Now, the interesting thing with these is that to build a farmhouse, you need to have no other farmhouse within a 5 radius, and you need to have 12 or more farms in a radius of 3. So what I'm thinking is that I want to go ahead and do a little something like this, and I want to do this. And I'm going to build myself a farmhouse right here and right here. And then what I can also go and do is do my 5x3 there with 1 back there, do 1 back there, and 5x3 there. So the farmhouses are kind of nicely central, although I probably want to... Well, I probably want to do this. I don't know if it's going to let me do this, but I'm certainly going to try and do this. Apparently I can't do that. I would assume it's probably a work consumption thing. Yeah, it is. We only have 50 work available right now, but this will be good for food production. This is actually going to be really, really good for everything, because you can see we have plus 786 food production right now. Although, to be honest, we don't have the work to keep up with it. So maybe I get a little bit less carried away. We take that out of there. We'll go ahead and put those 2 in for now, just so we maintain some kind of work surplus. And we'll also keep a pretty healthy food surplus as well. I think this is pretty good. That works out. Now, hotkeys are displayed between square brackets when hovering over a button. For example, to quickly build a farmhouse, press F and 2. Okay, well, that's fine. Select the magnifying glass icon and click on a wooden hut. You'll be presented with several upgrade paths. Clicking any upgrade path will show its respective requirements. For now, let's focus on a village house. So click on it. I can also just right-click a wooden hut. Now, to get a village house, we need the population to be higher, so we need it to be 300. We need more farmhouses, which we can do, but we also need energy. Now, that's going to be kind of interesting. So, we need 300 population, we already know that. We need 3 farmhouses, we already know that. We need energy, and we need some density in this area as well. So we need to build a lumberjack cabin close to my lumber camp to produce energy from firewood, which is made from wood. The lumberjack cabin also needs 300 population and 3 farmhouses. So the priority, I guess, is going to be growing the population and getting these farmhouses. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by bulldozing the 2 lumber camps. So I'm going to take that one out, and we'll go ahead and just extend the road ever so slightly, and ever so slightly here as well. Then the lumber camp is going to go here, and the lumber camp is going to go here, just at the side of the road, so I can punch the road straight through if I need to. The next thing we need is more work. So quite simply, we need some housing. And I think what I'm going to do with housing is we have this little snowy area here. I can build houses on that. I can't build farms on it, but I can certainly build houses. Now let's see. I can't build this right now because we don't actually have enough work saved up. Now it is +5, so this should go to 50 at some point, although it's going to be very, very slow. So maybe the smart thing to do, well, there's a couple of things we could do. I think the smart thing, though, would be to go in and probably maybe take out a couple of farms. That might help us a little bit. Maybe take out just all that back row, and that should bring our work up to +30, which means if I wait for a second, we'll have enough work available to build a whole bunch of houses. So a little something like this, and we'll see the population creep up to 264, if not higher. It's up to 288. I don't know if it's going to pass 300, though. It might. 288 might be the cap, but we'll see. We'll give it a second and see if that updates. I don't think it's going to. So 288 seems to be the cap. I guess what we can do, quite simply, is go 1, 2, and that'll provide us 12 citizens, which should bring us to exactly 300 in total, once those 2 houses decide that they want to build. So there's one of them, and the other one should give us exactly 300 people. Hopefully. I mean, it should. It will. There we go. So 300 exactly, which means we should have unlocked the lumberjack cabin. Should pop up any second now that I've unlocked that, if it feels like doing that. Lumberjack. Oh, it needs another farmhouse. Never mind. Okay. Well, at the very least, we did unlock the parks tab, even if parks require 700 population, and we unlocked the landmarks tab, even if the neighborhood council needs 700 population and a grain silo. So I guess if the lumberjack cabin requires another farmhouse, what I'm going to want to do is quite simply go in here and give me this, give me a little stretch of road, and then give me another farmhouse right about there. And that should, in theory, give me the lumberjack cabin. And there we go. Village house and lumberjack cabin has been unlocked. Now what I'll do is I want to come in here and I'm just going to fill up that space with farms. I think we'll have the work to sustain it, especially since I am probably going to want to come down here and just get a couple more houses because I can. So that's fine. We have the farmhouses. That's perfect. They're nicely spaced out. Everything's okay. I don't know if traffic ever becomes a problem in this game. If it does, this is going to be a nightmare, but that's probably fine. I'm not really going to stress too much about it. The main thing I want to do at this point, quite simply, is build that lumberjack cabin, which needs to be within range of this guy. So we need to have the lumber camp in range. So we'll go ahead and, you know what? I'm actually going to put it right about there. Put it next to that guy. And I'd like to build another one. I want 2 of them, just because I can. And we're also at a deficit on work. How much work does this thing take? It consumes 50. Interesting. Okay. It also consumes 7 wood as well. So we're at +16 wood since we just had a -14 from those lumberjack houses. But what we'll do is, since we have a whole bunch of stored work, we'll just go ahead and build all of those houses. And I'm going to bring this road sort of around through that snowy area. And that should give us a really nice boost to the population. Although it also looks like I missed a spot there. So let me just put a house right there as well. And you know what? I want one there. And I want one right there as well. And what's cool is we've actually started to see some upgrades. These right here are village houses. That's the upgrade that we were looking for. So we have power. We have people that are happy enough to upgrade. We have over 500 people here in whatever this place is called. I don't think I actually bothered to name my my town. That seems unlike me. Although I guess it does present an opportunity. I guess if you have an idea for what this little town or village right now could be called, leave it in the comments and I'll pick something that I like and we'll call it that. That seems like a good idea. So apparently, the tenants are peasants who rent the land. Their living conditions are very low. They need only 3 farms next to them. The game wants me to build a tenant farmer, and I can hold down the Alt key to overbuild any building. So I don't need to destroy a farm to build my tenant farmer, just hold Alt and build on the farm. So long story short, we want this guy. Now these things are kind of cool. They cost 50, they produce food, and they store food. So long story short, I can go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gives me, well, the landlord's house for one, but it also gives me a bit more food production and more food storage, which is lovely. Now, the next thing the game wants me to do, of course, is build that landlord's house, which is this thing right here. Now, building this thing, it needs to be within range of 4 or more tenant farmers. Now, I think the simple way of doing that would be to put it here, and that'll put it in range of 4 of them. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll hold Alt, we'll just click, place it right there. And that also, while it's a little bit expensive and does consume 100 work, also produces 200 food and stores 200 food as well. So we are now over 1,000 in terms of food production, which I think is very good. I think that's kind of fantastic. Now, to get more energy, you can now upgrade your lumberjack cabins into lumberjack houses. Right-click on a lumberjack cabin, and you will see that it can be upgraded into a lumberjack house, which is unlocked at 600 population and 2 lumberjack cabins if it has 4 houses nearby. So basically, I need, for some reason, I kind of need, I did miss a little house right there. So if I build you, that should give me over 600 population now, right? No, 596, really? Wait, no, I missed one. Let's try and get you in there as well. So that should push us. No, 596. Are you kidding me? So that is technically a wooden hut, apparently. That's frustrating. It just looks like a tree. Is that a wooden hut? That is a wooden hut. Okay. All right, well, that's slightly frustrating. I guess what I can do, just to be simple about it, is I can just do another row of houses right there, and that'll push us over 600 without any issue. So now we have a bunch of people. I can go to this guy, and to upgrade to a lumberjack house, I just need 4 or more squares with at least 6 residents. So plain and simple, I can do 2 back there, and 2 in front, and if I do the same down at this end as well, one of them will upgrade. I'm not sure which one, probably this guy. But one of them eventually. Oh, no, this one upgraded. So this is now a lumberjack house, which is producing more energy, which is lovely. And this one upgraded too. So even more energy. So that's good. We have more energy. We have more food. We have more people. Not bad. Now the game is saying, be careful. Village houses consume more food than wooden huts. So build a grain silo to be able to feed the population. That's easy enough. We can go in here and see that a grain silo is going to need 700 people, which we have, but it needs a 4th farmhouse. That's, well, it's not going to be slightly tricky. It's just slightly annoying, if anything. But what I can do here is I can just bring a road out like this. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the distance on you? Okay. So we are going to want to 2 right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I want to do another 7. I guess. Get rid of you. Bring this over. We then need to do... Oh, man, this is going to be a bit of a pain is what this is going to be. But we'll figure it out. So this needs to go 1, 2, 3. And then I need a farmhouse right there. And then I need some tenant farmers there. And I guess what we do, we did unlock the grain silo, which is lovely, but that's it's less important right now. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then we'll fill that middle part in eventually, right? That's kind of the goal there. There is going to be a little gap in the middle where I guess, I don't know, it is all covered. Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So bring this over and eventually we'll have more farms in here as well. So that's totally fine. That's everything I needed to be. I just want to go ahead and get another tenant right there. And that's good. So we're up to 1,382 on food production. We also unlock the silo. So the grain silo, plain and simple, needs to not have a grain silo in radius, needs no modern grain silo, and also needs 2 or more farmhouses in the radius. So we have 2 right there. We'll go ahead and build it. And we're up to 1,540 on food production with a storage of 1,900. Not bad. Not bad at all. So you can make your city have its own laws. To do that, we need to build a neighborhood council. So what we'll do is we'll go into landmarks, we'll go to neighborhood council, and I'm thinking I'm going to build it here. And just right about there. Seems like a decent little spot for it. And then we'll go ahead and put some roads around it just to make it look a little bit interesting. We can put parks around this eventually. In fact, I think technically we could put some parks around it now. Not that I want to. I just could if I really wanted to. I'm just maybe, you know, eventually. Perhaps eventually. Now, you can either right click on the neighborhood council or press J and you'll enter the edicts menu. Now this part's kind of cool. I think this is kind of cool, the fact that you can do stuff to make people happier, such as better quality food. You can decrease farm production by 10%, but you will increase overall happiness by 0.5. Now that's not much of a happiness buff, but when we are making this much food, I don't really mind the idea of better quality food because it's going to make people happier. And that's kind of the point here. So we'll give that a shot. We'll see what happens. We're still at 1,400 and that's good enough for me. Now, villas. This is an interesting little point. Villas are luxurious homes where people live well. To reach a villa, you need to build 4 houses in a square, 2 by 2, away from the city, at least 5 tiles from any other house, and with at least 1 park. And if I build 2 parks, the road will have trees. Remember that the process may take some time. We need to get a villa. Now, the way I want to do this, how do I want to do this? And why do I want to? I don't know why I want to do this. I don't quite know why we would want to build some villas, but apparently we do. And I think what I'll do is we'll come over here and we're going to build ourselves a road. And that road's going to come down like this. And I want this road to come out and go like that. And then I want this road to come down. We're eventually going to build some stuff down here. I'm not going to tell you what because it's actually really cool and, you know, spoilers. But we're going to build this. I'm actually going to bring that road straight through here. I'm going to do this as well. And you know what? Bring this guy straight down. Bring this guy straight across. And that's all going to be used for something really, really cool at some point. In fact, you know what? Let's do, well, not that. Let's bulldoze you, and let's do this. So that'll all be used for stuff. I have some plans for that whole area. But in terms of villas, so it has to be 5 tiles from any other house. That seems a little ridiculous, but we'll see what happens. I want to bulldoze those trees. I want to bulldoze this. I want to bulldoze this, and this. And I guess we're going to give this a shot. So we want to go to housing and we want to go 2 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2. This one might not work out actually. So let's bulldoze you. We'll go with what? 3 villas. I don't know if that's actually going to turn into villas or not. They might be too close to each other. They also need a park nearby, don't they? So if I go to the parks section, do a park there and there, they turn into villas. Oh, well, that's kind of fancy. That's kind of fancy. I'll be honest. I kind of like it. I actually kind of like it. And you know what? I wonder, can I do this and this? I absolutely can. And we get some trees on the road. It's even fancier now. Okay, I'll take it. Let's do this just to have some trees kind of extend down there to look even fancier. And yeah, for some reason we have villas out here. That's what that road's going to exist for, at least for the time being. Now, you can choose which path you want to follow, depending on which achievement you get first. Press the N key or click on the menu in the top left corner and then click on achievements. There are 3 possible paths on this map. productivity, leisure, and wealth. So, the path to wealth, we need a 4th villa. We'll get nothing yet, which I think is a debug thing. The game is in early access, but I think we get this car. If we get wood production up to 90, we will get this car on the streets, which we could probably do that quite easily. And if we get enough green areas, we'll start to see bicycles. So I guess we should get that 4th villa because we totally can. So let's go in and let's just do this. Let's just get that 4th villa. And there we go. So now in theory, yeah, we have unlocked that new car model. Fantastic. Not bad at all. So was that the only path that I... Uh-oh. Oh dear. All right. Path to wealth, wealthy village house. Oh boy. Oh, we get that car. Oh, I might have put myself on the path to wealth exclusively. Whoops. I might not be so good. I didn't quite want to be exclusively on that path, but whatever. It's a non-issue. We have 4 villas. People are living, you know, luxurious lives over there. It's whatever. Now, football pitches are unlocked when you reach 8 happiness. Getting to 8 happiness at the moment may not be very easy. I'm currently at 8.2, but okay, go on. So you can follow the tutorial without building a football pitch. You will see that there are different ways to develop your city. Some mayors are not interested in football pitches. Hover your mouse over the happiness icon on the top right to see how the happiness indexes are doing. I would say people are doing okay. Right-click on your villa and see that a villa can upgrade into a mansion. Click the mansion link and you will see that to unlock them, you need even more happiness than for football pitches. So for this, I need happiness 10 and 6,500 people, as well as materials I don't yet have. So we're not going to worry too much about that. So continuing with the tutorial, we can go ahead and build a watermill. That will give me energy, and it should be built next to a river, of course. It's going to need a bit of wood for constant repairs to keep it running, but we have this space down here, and I'm hoping, and I can, absolutely put a watermill on it. So we're going to put a watermill right there, and that's going to give us a bit more power. And if I wanted to, I mean, it's, you know, no watermill in certain radius, but I could eventually kind of get a watermill in some of these areas too. I'm not going to do that, but I could. This one down here is just perfect though. That's fine. Now, this next part is one of my favorite things in this game, and that's why I built these roads down here. You're going to love this. Water can also give you food. If we're playing on a map with water, build a dock. I can do it at sea, or I can do it on a river. Now, to do that, I need a population of 1,050. So, long story short, we're going to have to expand this whole residential area again. So we'll go ahead, we'll build a road right here. And what we'll do is go ahead and do some housing here, right here, and of course, right across here. That should bring the population up kind of nicely. I'm hoping over 1,050, although I'm not holding my breath just yet. Although it might, given that when these places upgrade, we get 8 residents and 8 happiness versus the 6 and 6 that comes with a wooden hut. So I'm hopeful that we'll just creep over 1,000 and, yep, 1,062. So we should have unlocked, and we probably have unlocked the dock. There it is. Okay. Now, the cool thing about the dock, and like I said, I love this. I love this so much. It is such a cool little thing. It's one of my favorite things about this game, to be quite honest. If I build a dock right there, obviously, you know, I have to build another one at a bit of a different range. So this one can go, say, here, or we'll go for here. That's fine. So we get 2 docks. We also don't have any materials. So before we get to the cool thing, I kind of need to get more wood. So let's build ourselves a couple of little lumber camps in this forest. What I'll do is we'll go to here. We'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll go 1, 2, 3. And what we can do, I think, I'm assuming these are far enough apart, is, and they are, lumber camp there, lumber camp right there. We'll do a lumberjack cabin. Now these guys are going to be consuming, I think we're okay to do this. We'll do a couple of lumberjack cabins. Probably should have done them next to each other, but that's all right. And we'll go ahead and do some housing like this and like this. And I think they'll all upgrade. So that'll give us more power, and it also gives us a good amount, I think. Yeah, there we go. Upgraded and upgraded. There we go. So more power and a good amount of wood coming in from that. So now we can come down here and do the fun thing. So in the bottom right, you can see, if you build some houses near the dock, With access to the water, they'll be transformed into fishermen's houses, which give you food. So normal houses will produce 10 workers, 10 work, and consume 10 food. If I build houses here, and I'm going to pause while I do this, and I build houses here, and across here. Now, obviously, a lot of materials to do that. It's a lot of food consumption. And keep in mind, normal houses consume 10 units of food. These guys, on the other hand, look amazing. And what's really great about them, they produce food. Because they're next to the water and next to the fishing piers, they are food production houses. I love that. You have no idea how much I love that as a detail, especially just how this looks. I think it looks amazing. It's such a cool little waterfront, and it's such an easy thing to do. It's one of my favorite things in this game is just upgrading stuff like that. It just looks awesome. Now, before we continue, I'm going to go ahead and put a bit of a cut in right here. So that's going to do us for today. Now, keep in mind, we haven't named this village yet. So leave your suggestions for village names in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking of Urbeck so far. And if you happen to check it out, do, tweet me whatever you build or post it on Discord, do all that stuff. Let me know, because I love to hear, what you're doing with the games. If you pick them up when you see them on the channel, I love to hear what you're doing with them. I'm always curious. So do let me know what you're doing with Urbeck if you play it yourself. But that is going to do us for today. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.